Did anyone ever tell you that life after 80 feels less like living and more like surviving? It's not something people say out loud very often, maybe because it sounds too harsh, or maybe because we're afraid to admit it. The truth is, getting older doesn't always come wrapped in peace, wisdom, and cozy mornings. Sometimes it comes with knees that ache when you get out of bed, hands that shake when you're just trying to button your shirt, and a silence in the house that's louder than any noise you've ever known. And if you're over 80, you've likely noticed something nobody ever warned you about, that this stage of life doesn't just test your body, but your mind, your memories, and your spirit. You've made it through so much already: raising children, building a life, losing loved ones, adapting to change after change, but nothing quite prepares you for the unique challenges that appear once you reach this chapter. This isn't about being afraid, it's about naming what so many of us feel, yet rarely speak. It's about understanding the quiet truths of aging, so you can meet them not with fear, but with strength and grace. Let's begin. Your world grows quieter. One of the first things that changes is your circle. Not all at once. At first, it's just a few missed phone calls, then it's fewer invitations. Eventually, you realize the people you once saw every week, neighbors, friends, even family, have slowly disappeared. Some have passed away, some moved into care homes, some are simply busy with their own lives. It's not always about death, it's about absence, the kind of slow, creeping absence that no one warns you about. The Tuesday lunch that used to be a tradition just stops happening. The friend who always called on Sundays stops calling, and over time, your phone stays quiet and your days stretch longer. It's hard to explain this loss to someone younger, because it's not just about company, it's about connection. It's about being seen and remembered by someone who shared the same streets, the same music, the same stories. When those people go, you don't just miss them, you start to miss parts of yourself. Loneliness isn't always loud. You can be surrounded by people and still feel alone. That's something many folks don't understand. Loneliness after 80 isn't just about being physically alone, it's about becoming invisible. It's about waking up and realizing fewer and fewer people remember your stories, your favorite songs, or even the sound of your laughter. You wonder, if I stayed in bed all day, would anyone notice? But here's the quiet truth: while your old connections may fade, you still have the power to form new ones. No, it's not about replacing what was lost. It's about refusing to drift in silence. Some seniors volunteer not because they have extra energy, but because they need to feel needed. Others join book clubs or simply chat with the same store clerk every week. It doesn't take much. Even one friendly voice can anchor you. You're not imagining the ache of silence. It's one of the hardest parts of aging. But you're not powerless in it. You still matter. Your story still matters, and someone out there is still waiting to hear it. The body's subtle betrayal. It's not the big changes that wear you down. It's the little ones. One morning your legs feel fine. The next, they tremble just walking to the bathroom. You go from enjoying meals to picking at your plate. Sleep becomes unpredictable. Your digestion turns finicky. The same foods you've eaten your whole life suddenly give you discomfort. It feels like your body keeps changing the rules without giving you notice. And while people might say, "You look great for your age," they don't see what it takes just to get through the day. They don't see how you plan your errands based on your good hours, or how you rest between tasks that used to be effortless. What makes it harder is that the decline isn't steady. It comes and goes. One day you feel like your old self again. The next, you're reminded just how fragile things have become. This unpredictability is exhausting. Not just physically, but emotionally. And yet, the people around you often don't realize the effort it takes just to show up. But here's a small secret that helps: simple routines. A glass of warm water in the morning, a stretch before bed, 10 minutes of sunlight outside. These aren't magic fixes, but they reminders to your body and to yourself that you're still here, still showing up, still trying. And that counts for more than anyone may ever know. You don't look sick, but you feel it. That's another quiet frustration. People assume you're fine because you're still walking, still smiling. They don't see the energy it takes just to stay upright some days. You don't complain because you're used to being strong. You've never liked pity. But some days, you wish someone would really ask how you're doing and wait to hear the full answer. There's strength in your silence, yes, but there's also permission to speak, to say, "Today is hard," or "I'm tired," not just in my body, but in my bones. Because when you say it, when you name it, you give others a chance to understand. And when you understand it yourself, you can start to adapt not from weakness, but from wisdom. You've lived decades. You've seen things that most people can't even imagine. But aging after 80 introduces new terrain, quieter, lonelier, sometimes heavier. These aren't failures. They're part of the process. They're signs that you're still going, still learning, still adjusting. If you're reading this and seeing yourself in these words, know that you're not alone, and that everything you're feeling, the sadness, the resilience, the grief, the stubborn courage, it's all valid, and more than that, it's honorable. As you grow older, especially beyond 80, the world doesn't just shift physically, it becomes an emotional landscape filled with new, often painful terrain. One of the most difficult paths to walk is not one with aching knees or slow steps. It's the one where you outlive people you never imagined saying goodbye to, living past. The people you love. There's a certain kind of grief that only comes with time. You don't just lose one person, you lose them one by one. A best friend from childhood, a sibling who shared the same laughter over family dinners, a spouse whose presence you once took for granted, and the strangest part, you're still here. No one tells you what it's like to carry that. To look around and realize that the people who truly knew you, the ones who understood your humor, your struggles, your story, are no longer here to witness the rest of your life. You find yourself the sole keeper of shared memories, the last one who remembers why you painted the kitchen yellow in 1975, the only one who remembers how your brother used to whistle through his teeth. It's not just lonely, it's disorienting. You might find yourself saying someone's name out loud, forgetting for a moment that they're gone. You might reach for the second coffee cup, only to put it back, or hear their voice answering a question in your head, even though no one's there. This is the burden of surviving, and yes, it is a burden. Not because you want to go, but because staying sometimes feels heavier than leaving. Grief becomes routine in your 80s. Grief stops being an event and becomes a rhythm. Funerals, memorials, obituaries, they come more often. Not all of them are devastating. Some you expected. Some even bring a sense of peace, but others hit you, like a wave you didn't see coming. And unlike in your younger years, grief now often goes unspoken. Because it happens so frequently, people assume you've grown used to it. But you haven't. You never do. You simply get quieter about it. Charles, an 87-year-old widower, once said, "Each time someone dies, a room in my memory closes its door. I walk past those doors every day, but I don't open them as much as I used to." That image stays with you because you know exactly what he means. But here is something to hold on to. You race still the one holding the stories. You're the one who remembers, that matters, that is sacred. And maybe, just maybe, your job now isn't to forget the grief, but to speak the stories that grief tried to silence, relearning, independence on your terms. As your body and your world change, another quiet challenge begins to show up, the subtle erosion of personal freedom. Your children mean well. So do your caregivers. They want to help. But slowly, without meaning to, they begin making choices for you. They start with small things. Let me handle your medication schedule. Don't drive at night, okay? I've signed you up for this group. You'll love it. And before you know it, decisions are being made on your behalf. It's done out of love, out of concern, but it stings. You've spent your entire life making choices. Why should that stop now? Joyce, 84, shared how her daughter started arranging her entire day from TV shows to snacks without asking. "It's like she forgot I still know who I am," she said quietly. "You know your limits. You also know your strengths. And when people start treating you like a child, even kindly, it can feel like the world is shrinking around you. Agency isn't optional, it's your right. Here's what matters. Your voice still counts. You are allowed to say no, to say not yet, to say I want to decide for myself. Because dignity doesn't retire at 80, and agency, the ability to choose, is as vital now as it has ever been. Maybe that means asking for help with the heavy lifting, but insisting on picking your own meals. Maybe it's using a walker, but choosing your walking route. Independence after 80 doesn't mean doing everything alone. It means being respected in the choices you still can and should make. Set boundaries kindly but firmly. Explain your preferences. Help your family understand that your life is not a project to be managed. It is a legacy still unfolding. The cost of being overlooked. One of the harshest realities of this age is invisibility. You may notice it in conversations where people speak around you instead of to you, in visits that feel rushed, distracted, in the way decisions get made as if your input is a courtesy, not a necessity, and that invisibility seeps in. It affects how you see yourself. You might start questioning your relevance, wondering if your presence really changes anything. That can be soul-crushing. But listen, your voice still echoes. Your presence still shapes the room, whether people realize it or not. And your story still has pages yet to be written. Sometimes you have to remind people, not out of pride but out of self-respect. You're not a passenger. You're still the pilot. Aging is not a straight descent. It's a flight through shifting winds. Some days are clear, some days are turbulent, but you are still in the cockpit, still navigating, still choosing what direction to look. And yes, your strength looks different now. It's not in how many steps you can take. It's in how many quiet battles you fight without applause. It's in how you wake up and keep going, even when your body begs for stillness. So as you continue through your 80s and beyond, hold on to that. You are not less. You are seasoned. You are rooted. You've outlasted decades, wars, losses, loves, milestones. Your resilience didn't end at retirement. It just began to deepen. There's a moment, somewhere in your 80s, when you reach for something, your shoes, a plate, a thought, and suddenly realize, this used to be easier, not impossible, just slower, more deliberate. Like your body and mind are quietly negotiating every task that used to feel automatic. This is where many people begin to feel a new kind of vulnerability, not a dramatic collapse, but a quiet awareness that nothing, not even getting up from a chair, is effortless anymore. The truth about fragility: no one tells you that tying your shoelaces might one day require a moment of mental preparation, or that gripping a teacup could mean adjusting your fingers twice to avoid dropping it. The changes come gradually. You're still mobile, still alert, still capable. But now there's a calculation to everything. You scan a room for armrests before you sit down. You skip outings because it might train, and a slippery path is no longer just an inconvenience, it's a risk. You begin to sense your limits in new ways, and sometimes they catch you off guard, not because you feel weak, but because you remember being stronger. It's a strange thing living in a body you know so well that now behaves like a stranger every now and then. But here's the truth that few say out loud: fragility is not defeat. It's a sign that you've lived long enough for your body to carry the weight of years. It's not weakness, it's a new language your body speaks, and you're learning how to listen. Adaptation isn't giving up, it's evolving. Nancy, 84, said something beautifully honest. I don't mind that I need a cane now. I earned it. It means I've walked a long road, and I'm still walking. That's not just acceptance. That's grace. Some people resist tools meant to help walkers, grab bars, magnifiers as if using them is a confession of decline. But in truth, it's the opposite. It's a declaration. I still want to participate in my life. I just want to do it safely. There's power in using what supports you, in taking your time, in rearranging the furniture to make your world easier to move through. These small acts are not signs of giving up, they're signs of someone still showing up. And the more you accept your needs, the more energy you preserve for what matters most: connection, creativity, clarity, and care. The world gets faster. You move with intention. There's no denying it. The pace of the world is dizzying. Technology, trends, even the tone of conversation has changed. People text instead of call. Stores, self-checkout. Doctors rush through visits. It can feel like everyone's sprinting while you're just trying to walk with steady feet. But what if your slower pace isn't a flaw but a wisdom? While others rush, you observe. You notice what people miss, you ask better questions. You listen longer. There is value in slowing down, in paying attention, in moving with intention instead of speed. Don't apologize for your pace. Let the world race by if it must. You've earned the right to walk in your own time. New joy may come in unfamiliar forms when you've outlived routines, traditions, and sometimes people. Joy begins to shift shape. It's no longer in the big parties or reunions. It hides in smaller places now. A neighbor waving from across the street, a handwritten card in the mail, a grandchild's silly voice note, a warm cup of tea sipped slowly while watching birds outside. Sometimes joy looks like survival, like having enough energy to get dressed and go outside, like being able to recall a memory without struggling to find the words. Like the comfort of a familiar chair that molds to your back just right, joy is still possible, but it asks you to look closely, to notice, to find it in the present, not in comparison to the past. You don't have to be strong all the time, there's pressure in spoken, but heavy to be strong for others. To be the wise elder, the quiet warrior, the one who doesn't complain. And yes, there is nobility in strength, but there's also truth in vulnerability. You're allowed to have bad days. You're allowed to miss people so much it hurts. You're allowed to cry for no reason and then laugh 5 minutes later. You're allowed to feel scared when your body aches in new places. None of that means you're giving up. It means you're human. And just because you're older doesn't mean you're done needing comfort, encouragement, or love. Speak what hurts. Ask for reassurance. Let someone hold your hand without feeling like you have to be the brave one all the time. Strength isn't only in what you carry, it's also in what you let others help you hold. Honoring what's still here, it's easy, in your 80s, to focus on everything you've lost. And no one can blame you for that. You've likely said more goodbyes than most people can imagine. You've let go of homes, habits, and people who felt like parts of your soul. But here's the invitation. Begin to notice what's still here. The breath in your lungs, the way your favorite song still moves you, the sunlight on your face, the memory that made you smile yesterday, your sense of humor, your honesty, your stubbornness, your gentleness. What remains is not a consolation prize. It's the core of who you are. And there is still someone that needs what only you can offer. A story, a moment, a look that says, I understand, to someone younger who is struggling. You've lived long enough to be the memory someone else will carry, and that more than anything is a kind of immortality. There's a quiet question that begins to whisper more often after 80. What now? When the roles you once held have shifted, when the people you loved are mostly memories, when your hands aren't as steady and your calendar isn't as full, what now? It's a question not born from despair, but from the sheer enormity of what it means to keep living, and it deserves an honest answer. Your presence is still a gift, even if your days feel slower. Even if your body resists. Even if the house is too quiet, your being here still matters. To someone, your voice is still a source of comfort. To someone, your perspective is the calm they didn't know they needed. To someone, your story holds the peace that helps them make sense of their own life. You are not just occupying time. You are shaping it, even if all you do today is send one message, wave to a neighbor, or smile at a stranger. You may feel forgotten, but the truth is this: your life still carries weight. The value of your voice, so speak. Speak when your knees hurt. Speak when your memory slips. Speak when you're grateful. Speak when you're grieving. Speak when you feel invisible. Because the people around you, even if they seem busy or distracted, need to hear the realness of your experience. Your honesty could be the very thing that makes someone slow down, reflect, or return to you with more attention next time. You don't owe anyone a performance of being fine, and you don't need permission to be heard. Preparing for what comes next without fear. At this stage of life, many people begin to feel a quiet pressure to plan, to settle affairs, to prepare for what comes after. These conversations can feel cold or heavy, but they don't have to be. In fact, there is dignity in making clear what you want, not just for when you're gone, but while you're still here. Don't avoid these talks, embrace them. Choose your voice now so others don't have to guess later. Talk about what brings you peace, what kind of support feels helpful, what routines make you feel human, not just managed. Talk about where you want to live, what kind of help you're open to, and how you define a good day. Your clarity is a gift not only to your family, but to yourself. Legacy is more than a will. Your legacy isn't just what's in your bank account or written in a document. It's the way you've loved, the resilience you've shown, the kindness you've given when no one was watching. It's the stories only you know and the ones someone is waiting to hear. Maybe you write them down, maybe you record them. Maybe you share them in bits over tea with a grandchild who doesn't yet realize how lucky they are to know you. Don't keep your life locked inside. Don't assume people don't care. Give them the gift of your truth while you're here to tell it, because you are the only one who can. There is still joy waiting for you. You might feel like your best days are behind you, but what if they aren't? What if the most peaceful day of your life hasn't happened yet? What if a conversation next week makes you feel more understood than ever before? What if your laughter hasn't finished echoing? Yes, aging comes with heartbreak. Yes, it comes with farewells, slow mornings, and aches in places you never expected. But it also comes with depth, with clarity, with a sense of what really matters. And if you stay open even just a little, there is still joy waiting for you. In the way light hits the floor through the blinds, in the taste of your favorite food, in the quiet miracle of waking up again tomorrow. You don't have to chase happiness, you just have to notice it. A final thought: you're still becoming people often. Think of aging as the winding down of life, the end. But here's a different way to see it. You are still becoming, not a new person, not someone different, but the fullest version of who you've always been. Your rough edges have softened, your heart has deepened, your priorities have clarified, you've stripped away what doesn't matter and held on to what does, and now you walk each day with the strength of every year behind you. So no, you are not a burden, you are not too late, you are not forgotten, you are still here, still worthy, still full of stories, still shaping the world, even in quiet ways. Keep speaking, keep showing up, keep loving, because you matter, not because of what you can still do, but because of who you still are. Thank you for reading this journey. If this touched something inside you, share it with someone else who may need it. Tell them, you're not alone, I'm still here too.